Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, but Ed. I don't know if Ed can. What's up?
Oh,
How's it going, man?
going good. How are you guys? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I've been telling people it does feel like New Year to me because I've been out of it for like 2 weeks.
Sick, right?
Yeah, I was like totally taken out. I was in bed for like a week straight.
It's like you're letting that beard grow too, Matt.
Yeah, well, you should have seen it when I first emerged. I was like all like, everywhere, fingernails, like I was like Rip Van
It
Winkle.
looks good, man.
Now it's just the puffy Santa beard. Yes, sir. There we go. Oh, I turned it off. No idea why this stupid thing will never work. Anybody else piping in, or is it just...
Well, we know Hoove is not coming.
Yeah. Is Candace coming, or what's she doing?
Candace should be jumping on maybe a little bit late.
Okay. Who can't make it? I haven't heard from Kinder in a while. Not shocking.
Yeah. Hope she's okay.
Yeah.
Jonathan's running late.
Oh, nice. Okay. Sweet. $2026.
Here we go.
Oh. It actually feels weird to have energy.
You've been out of it, man.
I've been so used to just like needing to lie down all the time.
Did you have that flu that's going around?
I guess, yeah. It never tested positive for anything. It was like the phantom flu. But I was like completely laid out. And then even this last week, recovery has been just like 1 hour of activity then requires like a 2.5 hour nap. It's like, what am I? 90? I don't know what's going on.
If anybody should complain, it's me at 660.
Yeah. I mean, sheesh. Brutal. Made me appreciate things, I guess. I mean, I'm feeling so much better. Like I wouldn't be able to sit through a day in the office just looking at this computer screen and talking to people. That would not have happened.
Right.
It's like, no.
Yeah, I am on this Ozempic that I'm on, which is going well. It seems like about once every week and a half, I kind of get the chills and just don't feel well. And I've been told it's pretty normal because as I'm like shedding off weight, my body's like trying to regulate the temperature.
Ugh.
But like yesterday, I went to church, was feeling off, and I came home, slept for 3 hours in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it felt great.
But what?
It felt great.
Oh, yeah. Turn on some football and just take a nap.
Did the Bears win or lose? Do you know?
The Bears won. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I got a buddy who went back to that game, and I was
Major comeback. The Packers just like took a crap. They just stopped playing.
Yeah, they like didn't show up for the second half.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey.
Hi guys, sorry I'm late.
No problem.
Had some banking issues.
Banking. Banking. So I think we're waiting on one more too. Not that we have to wait, but oh, there he is. Speaking of, fresh out of the gym or what?
Yeah, fresh off a run.
Yeah, nice. Wait, what's the temp out there?
It's 42.
Oh, well, that's not bad.
Oof.
I shed some layers before I sat down.
Well, I mean that's chilly, but
Sounds
that could be worse, right?
42
Oh,
sounds
yeah.
like golf weather to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. A little less of a workout though.
Yeah. As compared to like 15.
Hi, Candace.
Hi.
Yeah, it's good to see everybody.
How's everybody feeling?
Well, I for one am better. I was at death's door. Like December 29th, that week of New Year's, I started having a headache and just not feeling very good. And on New Year's Eve, I went and saw my chiropractor thinking that might help. And it may have helped, but it actually may have just released everything. Because then I went home that night and like about 7 p.m., I just went to bed with a killer headache and just like no ability to stand up. And I didn't get out of bed until January 4th.
Yeah.
So it was just
That's
like,
awful. Oh my
yeah,
God.
I was just like laid out like never before, you know. And then I started to sort of recover, but still did not feel good for the next few days. Ended up going to the ER just to make sure I wasn't having like a stroke or a brain bleed or something because my head hurt so bad and I couldn't, like, I didn't have equilibrium, you know. I was bouncing into walls and stuff when I tried to go to the bathroom. It's just like so weird. And that all came out fine. So it was just like some phantom weird virus that just took me out. And today's the first day that I actually feel like relatively energetic and good. Yesterday, all weekend, I was still just kind of chilling.
Wow.
So it's
They
nice
don't
to be.
know what it was, just kind of like some flu thing.
Yeah, they're just kind of saying it's this virus. Like they didn't it tested negative for everything. Also, not COVID, not flu, not whatever. I was thinking mono maybe, but I never had like a sore throat or any of the normal mono stuff. So yeah, I don't know. Feeling lots better today. So it's been a weird couple weeks though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bailed on Jonathan. It's like I didn't even answer you till days later because I didn't even know. I was in this dark hole, you know.
Hey, it's okay. It's okay. I'd rather you get better.
Yeah, thanks, man. So that's been me. I don't know. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Yeah. Already swinging in the new year and everything, just rolling.
Yeah, I launched a mastermind last week, and
Nice.
a paying mastermind.
Yeah, sweet.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that was a long time in coming, and so that took most of my. So we celebrated the holidays before the holiday dates,
Okay.
which was perfect because then it allowed me to kind of take that like no man's land zone and really like focus on the launch week, and that was good. And then, you know, just kind of the quiet clarity moments are really good when no one else is like communicating. So I didn't mind that we didn't talk because I had plenty to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
But we started telling people that my wife's expecting with our third.
Oh.
So
Oh, congratulations.
Right.
thank you.
Nice.
Nothing motivating your business enterprise by learning that you have more bills on the way.
For real. For real. Wait, what's your ages currently?
So I have 6, almost 2.
Oh, okay.
Expecting. So
all right. So pretty evenly spaced. Ish.
Yeah. So
Congrats, man. That's awesome.
There was that 4-year gap in between number 1 and number 2 was like, wasn't sure we were going to have more. So we were thankful to have that second one. And in that time, my wife resigned from teaching full time too. So that made a big difference on how fast we went into having a third.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Nice, man.
Right on.
Good times. Switching from man to zone, right? That's what they say.
Yep. Yep. Already feeling that.
Yeah. At least 6 isn't like 3 or 4, you know?
No.
Like,
Yeah.
it'll be a little easier.
Yeah, he's more of a help than he is
Yeah.
a pain. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's true to form, oldest. Wants to do everything perfectly. Grade A. Yeah.
Nice.
We'll see. I'm excited to see how he grows this year too, because just the leaps and bounds in the last 12 months have been crazy developmentally, the conversations that he can hold down.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
Wow.
I'm excited about that. I got a 5-year-old, so looking forward to 6.
Man, they still feel like a baby at 4.5 and 5.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like their face leans out. They start using big words. And it's like, whoa, who is this kid?
Nice.
Candace, did our oldest, was he like trying to do everything right? I can't remember. Was he that way?
No, I mean, he was just really sweet. I'm so glad they weren't switched, because such a sweet big brother, and his little brother is just such a hellion, or at least he was.
Yeah.
And when they were little. Yeah, no, he was really sweet. He was such a good big brother. Just very sweet. I don't remember him feeling responsibleness. But
You guys seen the Disney short Jack Jack?
no.
Oh.
So you've seen The Incredibles?
Yes.
Yeah. The baby in The Incredibles.
Oh yeah.
That's my number 2, and her name is Jacqueline.
Oh my gosh.
She is actually Jack. It's I agree with that sentiment. If I'd have had Jacqueline first, we may not have had it anymore.
Right.
The first one's the sucker baby.
Yep.
I know. Yeah. That's why I thought I was so good at being a mom with the first one. And then
I may have seen that. Has it been out a while? That little vignette you're talking about?
Yeah, it's been.
Yeah.
It came out around the same time as the movie.
The movie, yeah. I think I've seen it. He's like all over the place and just doing all this stuff. Yeah.
Wait, lights on fire, right? If I remember. That's his superpower.
Perfect.
Totally.
Oh, nice. Anybody else get advantage of, because I'm right there with you, Jonathan, on like some just quiet time, and uninterrupted. Although, yeah, it's just nice. Like get some clarity, I feel like. Anybody else have anything like that? Or has it just been frantic?
I took some of that time to finish the book too, and like take some time to like go back and look through some of his lists, and like how when you're listening to when you're listening or reading the first time, you go through stuff just quickly because you're kind of hungry for what the content's going to be like, but then you got to go back and look at like individual paragraphs are really helpful, and take some time to try to put that into place. And I mean, I've had a business vision for a long time, and I continue to hone like how that works, and the big thing that I'm working on now is like, how do you communicate vision to other people in such a way that you're not monologuing, it involves them in the conversation. And like that's a tricky thing to do because I'm at the point where I'm trying to enlist help from other people, the who's instead of the hows, and doing it in such a way like that I can clearly articulate something that's energizing for other people and not just me. It's a different trick. It's a different beast.
I like that. I want to hear more about that. Yeah.
They should have had a different voice. His voice on the recording is just hard to take.
It's hard to listen to for me. Yeah.
Grating.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, he's not the best. Yeah.
But the content is great. I mean, for me, it was great just to hear more about like non-financial, even non-business goals. Kind of what I've been kind of chewing on, trying to figure out what it is that I want to achieve, and things like my relation, my marriage, with my kids, and things like that.
Yeah, nice. Ladies, any thoughts?
I think I've reread the, speaking of going back and like really dissecting stuff, I think I've reread the conclusion like 3 times. And I still like, I have literally 2 pages in the conclusion like marked that I want to go back and look at again. So, I mean, for me, I think I could be in the conclusion for, I don't know if you guys have gotten that far, but it's so meaty and dense that I think I could get stuck in there for a month easily.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at that. I haven't been in that part of the book for a while, so yeah. I know I was laying there at the times when I was thinking about anything. And like my first thought was the things that I couldn't do for clients, and that was bothersome because I didn't want them to have to be waiting. But then I was also like, but now I don't even like having to have any kind of obligation like that at all. Like I don't want my business to be having to wait for me. That's not scalable, that's not 10x. So, and I was already going into this last couple of weeks of just being out of it. Prior to that, already like noodling on this stuff, and feeling some frustration of some things, like ways we were getting pulled into the weeds of our clients' businesses and stuff like that. And so it was good. I feel like I've come out of this, like today even, with quite a bit more clarity on what we want to be and what we want it to look like and how it can actually maybe work, so I'm kind of excited.
I bet it feels good to feel better.
Yeah.
I mean, just kind of put it off for as long. That much time is so hard.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah, it feels nice just to have normal energy and not have like a headache and not want to lay down, and just makes me more positive in general. It's kind of like not feeling great emotionally either for some of the time. And yeah, so it's just like nice to feel normally good,
Yeah, sickness is depressing. I mean, it's so depressing. You're just kind of laying there.
Yeah. And there was a few times where it was like painful. I was like, I cannot take this. Like, I can't be like this. This sucks. Like, I don't even want to do this at all. Feels going to be like that for very long. And yeah. So, fortunately, I pulled up and posted it, the document, the Mastermind, the member action items deal, and I made a new tab for this year and kind of reposted everybody's like the stuff we talked about, purpose for the group, and then BHAG ideas, and then 10x goal ideas, just to kind of have that available there. And I don't know, I haven't really spent much time thinking about this yet, but it's like, okay, so then what, like, how do we massage all this stuff into the next thing? Like, what's the next finer point, iteration of these thoughts and ideas, like more actionable, more specific, bigger and scarier? I don't know. Like, where do we go with the ideas, like what we're heading for? Or if we recap like what everybody has said so far, like, is it still applicable? Where are we at with all that? And I could share. Does it help if I share it on the screen?
I've got it pulled up on my end.
You got it pulled up, yeah.
Yeah.
Candace, are you able to see it or?
I'm on my phone.
Yeah.
I can't.
You could try. I mean,
I can share it, no big deal.
sure.
Just in case. I'll zoom it a little bit here. So let's see here. Jonathan, I'm sure you have this stuff. I'm not sure if maybe you weren't here weeks we were actually talking about it.
Yeah, that's I was literally just looking through that. My so to date, the biggest contract that I've sold that is $6,000 in one go, and I want to put together a $60,000 offer this year.
Yeah.
That's that's probably the thing that I'm like angling towards as far as a audacious goal, audacious idea. And the reason that I phrase it that way is not because I'm looking to like sell multiples. It's like I have to put together the resources to actually I have to put together the resources to make it a legitimate $60,000 offer.
Mm-hmm.
So in what I'm working on and what I'm developing is the support, the technology, the back end to make it a sweet deal, right? So in the way that the author says it, like it has to be like a too stupid to ignore offer, and that so it's less about selling the $60,000 offer, but putting it together and
Yeah.
doing it in the I don't know if you've seen like they call it the entrepreneurial cycle, where it's like put together an idea, pitch it to like 5 people, take the feedback, pitch it to 100 more people, and then just keep doing the cycle until
Hmm.
you either are on a self-repeating cycle or you're on a new idea. And I guess what I'm wanting to do is in this quarter, I'm trying to pitch it to the 5. So that means I have to have it together. But my 10x is kind of framed. I want to be replaceable. I want to replace myself in my business by the time I'm 40. So that's 7 years to do that. And so I have a lot of work to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like I want to be the way that he explained it in his book too. I want to be optional in my company, other than just vision and top end content production, writing, speaking, hosting, that kind of thing. I
Yeah.
want to be. That's what I want to do by the time I'm 40, and so that unlocks options for my family. Obviously with kids, I want to be present. Right at the moment, we're educating at home, and I want to continue doing that. I want to be a part of their education. My wife being a educator and her background is very helpful, but I have a lot of we both have a lot of ideas as to how we want to do that. And even over the holidays, the some of the benefits that I've been chewing on as I have aging parents, who are they were in their 40s when they had us kids, so they're already retired. They're thinking about not like end of life impending, but like getting those decisions made ahead of impending end of life stuff. And so moving into a almost like parenting my parents at the moment, through attorneys and investments and stuff. I want to be able to have clarity and focus in managing the family by the time they need me. So
Yeah, like space for all that.
yep, I need that to be something that I can, with no qualms, take a day, take a week, take a month.
Right. Yeah, nice. Yeah, it's good, man. I mean, a 60K offer, that definitely narrows down options, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can't just be any old thing.
Yeah. And I spent some time last week. This was a really fun process. I spent some time last week condensing my offers. So I had 14 unique offers. Well, they weren't unique. I had 14 offers on a spectrum of what they were.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have 5. And
Mhm.
that was a butt ton of work to like be rigorous in what was effective and what was even possible, and condense it down to 5. And I guess there's still some overlap in those 5, but it's more on the messaging side. So really, there's 2 things. It's either me speaking or me listening. Because if I'm gonna condense it, it's either me speaking to people or it's me
Yeah.
listening to people. And that helped frame, like, so that's the modality, and it's just what's the context in which I'm listening or speaking. And so that's what the 5 are. And condensing that gave me a clearer on ramp, or a clearer runway to what 60K could look like. Because I just have to, I mean, I could sell a 60K speaking gig, that's not unheard of, or I could sell an annual advisory for 60K. And so it's just kind of trying to figure out what's the support structure behind that makes it so stupid to ignore.
Yeah. Like makes them feel stupid if they ignore it, type of thing, like Hormozy.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Mhm. Nice. This is good, dude. That feels like progress,
It is. It really does feel like that, and I'd have to give you credit for it in the book, because I would not have read this book had you not suggested it, because the title grates against my idea, against my personality.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Good. It's satisfying. I like it.
Write that in a review.
Right? Sweet. Clip. Yeah. What is it, like the easier deal, or like what's the counter?
Because growth for growth's sake doesn't appeal to me at all.
Yeah.
Like, I love momentum and I love doing things well, but just like volume of size, that doesn't. So like, to me, it was like 10x. I don't want just to instantaneously have 10 more people on my team.
Arbitrary. Yeah. So the fact that it's qualitative more than quantitative means
Makes
a
a
lot.
huge difference.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
that moved me from skeptic to like, oh, I'm here. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, it is like a catchy, kind of a shocking title, like the 4-hour work week or whatever. But it's like when you actually get into it, it doesn't mean that exactly, which is important. Yeah.
Well, and really, when it comes down to it, it's increasing the value that you are giving to the people that you're exchanging with people, and that is like the core of my fiber. Like, pricing psychology is a thing for me, because the last thing I want to do is charge something that is not providing value. So if I can come to the table with an offer that is ridiculously generous, but has the 10x transformation, I'm gonna be okay with that. I'm gonna be okay with charging it.
Yeah. Like it's really everybody's winning.
Yeah, exactly.
I like the when he gets into the check writer, he's talking about the check writer. I think it's pretty early on still. And he's like, the $500 check writer is like, we're really counting on you. We're investing all, like we need this to work, blah, 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 blah. And then he's like, the $50,000 check writer is like, money sent, thanks.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh. Yeah. Nice.
So that makes sense. So Jonathan, in the beginning, you were saying that now your next obstacle is figuring out how to explain the vision. So are you talking about like marketing it, or are you just saying like in general, like how do you wrap it in a package?
Well, because something that I was working at the end of last year is new team members. Like some of that has to do with making sure that I can legitimately pass off projects, delegate in a way that I'm confident that people are going to do things the way that I want them to be done. And so that's on me. I've always believed that if a leader complains that something's not being done to their expectations, that's the leader's fault, because they didn't explain well enough. Like if you're being misunderstood, that's your fault for not communicating clearly. So for me, it's making sure that I'm so crystal clear on my expectation for where we're headed, that it's easy to come in with the excellence and voice that I'm looking for in my work. And I think maybe I've got a little bit of energy out of the book on the how you do anything is how you do everything. And coming out of the published is better than perfect mindset because you just need cash. Like that's where I've lived for 2 years, right? It's just do anything to get anything. And now that there's at least some income that's guaranteed on a month to month, it's now we can move from like keeping your nose and mouth above the water to, okay, we're going to now invest in the right thing. And that means people. And so I know where I'm headed. I need to make sure that anyone else that's working with me knows where we're headed, so that I can work on the stuff that's going to be of high value, and so that they can get the word out to the people who we're already working with, or to the people who need to see the value offer when we get it, when we've got it done.
So I've got some feedback for you on that, actually, I think. And it's actually right here on this page that we're looking at where the gap is in the BHAG thing. Cause like everything you were just talking about fits in the 10X goal, because it's fairly succinct, specific, actionable, actual, tangible goals that you could tick off. And I think that to share the vision, like the BHAG is bit bigger and broader and less specific, but definitely more like orienting for other people. So I don't know, I guess I would just encourage you to spend some time in the BHAG quadrant thinking about like, what does your vision look like for your business or for like your customer, the mission that you're on? That makes sense, so you can bring other people along with.
Oh, sure. So so I'm glad you said that, because that's not how I would have defined a BHAG. I put BHAG in my quarterly. That's how I want people to have audacious goals on a quarterly basis. So if you're looking for vision, I'm setting out I'm building a consulting firm, a boutique consulting firm that allows leader to leave a legacy the right way, an intentional legacy.
Yeah. So BHAG just like might sound like no leader builds a business without a legacy. Like that's my BHAG, something like that. Like
So
I think
leaving
of
an
it
intentional legacy.
yeah, like that. Like I think of it like no one goes without clean drinking water. Like it's an impossible goal, but that's the guiding vision, right? Like eradicate financial illiteracy from the United States would be a BHAG, if that makes sense.
Sure.
That kind of thing, right? So like, I don't want any leader of any company to ever go without leaving a legacy, or however you would say it. But it's like this grandiose vision that like any decision you make or anything you do would have to fit pointing towards that. Right. And you can call people on board with you, that kind of a thing.
Yeah. I like that. So yeah, that's just terms, making sure our terms are on the right spot.
Yeah, exactly. Because you can have big audacious goals quarterly or annually or whatever, but they're like, it's a different genre of goal.
Right.
If that makes sense. Right. The BHAG idea is like not an attainable tactical goal. It's much more of like a North Star type of thing. But both are important, obviously. Do you feel like it almost can like, I mean, obviously starting with a BHAG is great, but it can almost work backwards. It's kind of where I'm at too. I think it's like, okay, what is my like the big guiding vision?
You mean like work backwards?
From 10x goals almost, you know, it's like we're refining our business and what we're trying to do and how we're able to help people. And it's like without a BHAG, a really clearly defined BHAG anyway, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just thinking like the feedback we've been getting and the refining we've been doing on like what our business actually is probably going to inform the BHAG actually what we really, it's kind of like exposing what it is we really care about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know, just thinking out loud.
No, it makes since after explaining it, I totally get what you're saying now.
I think that's the best because it's like if your BHAG is more like exposed than crafted, it's like, you know, it's authentic. You know, it's like, what do I, because that's the book, like, what do you really want? Like, what do you really want that you actually care about? And it's not just for you. I mean, like in the BHAG thing, it's like for the world, you know, for other people.
Mm-hmm.
So like, what is it you really want to see happen? Like, you know, for me, I think it'd be like, I want to see founders unburdened from having to, you know, operate their businesses or worry about certain things in their business so that they're free to do the things that they excel at the most and that bring the most value, you know, to their clients and the most joy to themselves, that type of thing. Like, I know that's the motivator in there. We're getting better and better at like how we enable that.
Mm-hmm.
But like, what's the lifestyle? Like, what's the big picture thing we're calling people into? The free flow mentality, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Not just mentality though, like practice. How's this landing for everybody else?
For me, it's landing well. It's just like firing off a lot of pistons in my brain, and yeah, I've been thinking about like for me the structure that we already have set up with our business and our private practice therapy. Like I've got certain goals there, which are more sort of client by client, which is to help people realize goals, help couples and families heal, kind of the typical things you would think that a therapist would drive us. And then it gets sort of larger as a supervisor in the kind of therapy that we do called emotionally focused therapy. So it broadens out to helping to teach therapists to also be as effective as they can be. And then it kind of then broadens out to our blog and kind of starting to write a book, and that starts to go out even further. But again, kind of with this, it feels like this kind of vague goal of helping people live more satisfying lives and have more emotional intelligence, that kind of thing. But then it also comes down to also the money piece has to do with more like freedom, especially with the family, freedom to travel, freedom of time. So I'm kind of trying to play around with those. They're connected, but I'm not super clear yet how to move forward with them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like when
move forward
I was
with
going to say when you talk about helping founders and entrepreneurs to what was the word that you used, Matt, to help them do what again?
Like in our business, you mean?
Yeah.
Like to offload the work, the redundant work, the operational work and tasks that bog them down, so they can just stay freed up to do their, to be in their genius zone, to do the work they love, to do the stuff that's most redemptive, that brings the highest value
Right.
to their clients and brings them the most joy.
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah. See, for me, it's very similar to that. And yeah, so thinking about that, I think that you were about to say something, Ann.
Oh, no, I wasn't.
Or Candace, maybe.
Yeah, I was wanting you to elaborate on what you were saying, I guess. What the struggle was.
Well, it's just to get I want to get clear on one piece of paper, what is the BHAG, what is the largest goal, and then how do these things that have to do with being a therapist and helping people realize their goals and et cetera, how that then fits into the financial freedom that it comes from more clients, these intensives that I'm making some good progress on, these intensives where couples come in for two or 3 days, and the cost is a lot higher, and so there's a lot more leverage there. My time is leveraged. But just trying to get clear on what is driving all of those things, I guess.
Yeah, and you mentioned freedom, right?
Yeah.
The ability to do things with the family or whatever.
Yeah, and we talked about wanting to get our business as remote as possible so that we could travel, being Mexico and doing our work there, and having it be a show that can go on the road.
Yeah. What's interesting when we think of BHAG, maybe that's freedom, and then it's not very specific.
Right.
But it can help stir up, what does that mean? Because a lot of what we do is, it's hourly, right? That's where being able to write a book or have a practice with other therapists where we earn income from their income, that sort of thing. Getting more specific as to what sort of how we could receive more residual income.
Right.
Because our hours are limited, right?
Yeah, and I have thought about that, and I've thought about one of the models is hiring more therapists to work for us and more people in our office, and I'm not very, so I kind of give that some thought and prayer. I must say I'm not very excited about that because of there is more income possibility, but there's a lot of responsibility that I'm not sure I want. Kind of having to, because in the therapy world, you never really know what people are doing behind their doors, and having to supervise them. It's a lot of work, and I don't know that it brings in a lot more money.
Well, it doesn't feel like freedom to you.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good thing to be really clear about, especially because it does sometimes growth just feels like good. What, more people, more money, more whatever, but then it's like more work or more.
Yeah, but if there's
locked down.
Yeah, if there's a bigger picture, because with each therapist, they all have their own insurance, right?
Yeah.
And so as far as being, it would, I mean, like, what would we offer?
Yeah.
Right.
Let me just reiterate too on the BHAG thing, but let me say, hey, hi Kendra. Hi Kendra. Great to see you.
Sorry to catch the party late.
I'm glad you could join. That's awesome.
Yeah,
We're
it's been
talking
a
goals.
while.
Yeah, we're talking Happy New Year, and
Yeah, you too.
we're talking kind of like the two types of goals. One being like the BHAG. Have we ever talked BHAG before?
Yeah.
Like guiding vision, global, right? Really big picture, not tactical, attainable, quote unquote, goals, but just like guiding vision sort of ideas. And then 10x goal, like how do I turn this into an actionable thing in my business that's bigger than I've ever thought about before, right? The type of goal that focuses, like the book style, what the book talks about, a 10x goal being, because it reduces almost every option but one, that type of thing. And I want us just not to be harping on it, but just to be really clear about what the difference is between the BHAG concept and the 10x goal concept. And I guess a one way to think about it would be like the BHAG is when you look out at the world, like it's for the world or for your people, whoever you're trying to help.
Yeah.
But like the BHAG has to do with them or the problem that you're trying to solve. And then the 10x goal has to do with how I'm going to accomplish it in a scalable, bigger way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anytime we're talking about my business, my revenue, blah, 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 like our infrastructure, our stuff, we're talking about a 10x goal. And when you're talking about a BHAG, you're like purely talking about like, when I look at the world, I see this problem and I want to help solve it. That's kind of the distinguishing factor. If that helps.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
At least
so what you're saying is I'm thinking more about family and freedom, the kind of things that Jonathan was talking about, family and freedom. So those would probably be more 10x goals.
Exactly. And that's why I was saying, like, it's almost like we can back into our BHAG, because like if we start thinking better about a 10x goal and like how do I structure my life and my business in such a way that it actually allows for this kind of growth and this quality of life and all this kind of stuff, then it's like as I refine it, I'm gonna have to understand better and better what it is that actually motivates me to do these things, like truly. And when you find your true motivator, I think you're really getting at your BHAG.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. And the BHAG can be specific to some degree, right? Like it's about a thing. Like I want to help people. It's like too broad, right? But I want to end world hunger. At least that's specific enough. It's about a thing.
I think when you say BHAG, when I'm teaching my clients, because this is actually something, this is like, I wouldn't say this is the core, but it's like one of the three stools on my three pegged stool of what I'm offering. So I teach my clients to develop purpose, vision, and mission. And I think you're saying your BHAG is your purpose.
Maybe.
Because mission has to be tactical. So I'm teaching mission the way Miller teaches it, which is economic realities and end dates.
Yeah.
And vision is what do I want my business to be? What do I want it to be like? Where am I going in 15 years? But purpose is why the heck am I doing this in the first place?
Right. Exactly.
So that's how I was able to update mine, because I've got a very clear purpose.
Yeah.
So I call that the legacy leadership architecture, is those three. And if you don't have one of those stools, legs on the stool, it falls. Because what I have found more often than anything is that people are operating with a purpose subconsciously. They've never articulated it.
Right.
Could you repeat those three things?
Yeah, absolutely. So you have to have a purpose, a vision, and a mission. Mission should be time bound and have economic realities tied in. So that would be like maybe your smarter goals, is some people call them that.
Yeah.
Then your vision is like, what does the company look like in 15 years? Where am I taking this? What are we going to be like? How are we going to operate? What kind of value are we bringing to people? And that's the 10X kind of thing, right? And then the purpose is Matt's BHAG, because you got to have like a heartbeat. This is like, I can't not do this. This is what I'm built for. This is what God put me on this earth for. This is what I want my clients to end up being like. Yeah. I want the solution that I offer to my clients because this is right, and I'm fixing a wrong in the world. So that's purpose. And some companies have a hard time with purpose until you start. So and then what I'll do is I'll ask the question, and why does that matter? And why does that matter? And then eventually you get back to the very, very basic purpose, this core concept that some people have never thought about before. And it gives them a slow burn passion instead of this like really bright fire, motivational, aspirational, roller coaster ride of energy.
Yeah.
Instead of the procrastination that happens when you're like, oh, I want a bigger paycheck. You give them that core purpose, and there's fuel in that tank for a long time.
Is that something you've put together, or does that fall? Is that kind of derived from another book, or what, or is that just your thing, man?
It's my proprietary work, but I've got concepts from dozens of authors kind of smattered within that three-legged stool. So Lencioni, cool. Hyatt, Miller, what's his name? Tim Collins, Good to Great. I mean, it's like there's a lot of different people that Maxwell, even like in like the team construction aspect of it, like Maxwell has done some really good things there, but I think none of them combine things well. And so that's the niche that I'm fitting is, I call it the legacy leadership architecture, because what I've found is that people who don't care about their legacy don't lead this way. If people care about their own life in the future, they're not going to lead this way. But if they care about their team, their company, the community that they live around, that lives around them, like those are the reasons that people do this, because of the stuff that's later, well after them.
Would you say
goes into my ideal client?
Yeah, nice. That's really good, dude. Okay. Would you say it's accurate to think that like your big purpose is very closely tied to your identity? Like if you keep digging and digging, at the end of the day, a person's just going to be like, because that's just who I am.
Yes.
Like that's why it matters.
Yeah, and honestly, it's funny because I have a meeting tomorrow-ish. Tomorrow with a publishing company, because I think I need to get my like origin story down on paper, because I think that helps with the vision, or that helps with the purpose. It helps people understand why I think this is so important.
Right.
But I need to put it in its own bucket so that it doesn't bleed into my marketing in the wrong way. Right? Because people don't care about my story unless they have a reason to. So my story has to be in its own lane so that I can focus on my client stories.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Otherwise, you're just selling yourself the whole time. You're not selling your vision.
But what happens is eventually when someone has enough of a following, people are like, so how did he get to that? And I want to have a good answer. I don't want it to be slipshod, and I don't want it to be lacking the powerful meaning of the things that God has orchestrated through my life, including the bumps. Maybe especially the bumps.
Yeah. Those often play a large role. Yeah. Hmm. No, this is good. Is it 3 o'clock? What else? What else? I mean,
Well, you know, Matt, I was just going to say that I think that this also speaks to what they talk about in the book, which is that
it went dark.
Uh-oh.
I thought it was just a dramatic pause for
I
a
know.
second.
I bet his phone died.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Nice. Oh. Well, Kendra, anything to update or add, or even thinking about this stuff at all, or what's been going on?
I have really been through the ringer since the last time I saw you guys.
Yeah.
So this hasn't been top priority. I have
Yeah.
been starting to give it a little bit more thought over the last week. I've started to feel a little bit better.
Nice.
So where I'm at right now is I just don't want the business to die. Like I don't think my mind is in a 10x space, although I'm still listening to the book. I'm still, mulling over some ideas and stuff, but
Yeah.
but right now, like cuz I could go two ways with it, right? Like I could go on disability basically and say I can't work anymore, or I could try to keep the business alive. So I'm definitely in the court of like, let's keep the business alive. But
Cool.
there's a lot of challenges with that now. I did start chemo, so that's new. I have my second one on Wednesday, and things have just been, yeah, a lot different. I'm kind of in survival mode right now.
I'm sure. Yeah. Does that like take you out for a few days afterwards, or like when you have
Yeah,
treatment?
yeah. I get really tired and weak afterwards. And they say the first one's the easiest one, so I've only got the first one under my belt so far.
Yeah.
So we'll see what it's like after the second one and see if I'm still in, yeah, let's keep it alive mode or not.
Right.
But my clients have been great and very understanding. So
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
kind of been working at a pace that I can and charging them accordingly. So I didn't even bill any of my clients anything for December because between the holiday and I got hospitalized again for blood clots, I just didn't hardly do anything. So I didn't even charge them for the work that I did do. It was barely worth it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it does bring in a pretty sharp focus, the idea of like being able to being your business being beyond you, like
Yeah.
if that's possible and how that'll look, but
Hmm.
to create it too, and you're like right in the middle of all this stuff.
Right.
No.
Yeah. I finished a website while I was in the hospital. And I don't know, the social media stuff is really hard right now with my energy level. I'm like, maybe I just need to focus on websites for a while
Hmm.
because it's more like a behind the scenes type of thing. I don't have to be the face of it. or like I'm not up for being the face of anything right now. You know, I was all about putting yourself out there on social media. It's just too hard right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's what I wanted to help people with. So the last time we talked BHAG, that was my BHAG, was to empower people to get out there be on social media and be the person, the face of their business on social media. So that's what I really like. That's what I desire to help people with. But I
Yeah.
can't even do that for myself right now.
Huh. Yeah. Sheesh. Well, maybe they have to do it since you can't do it for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it has been nice for your clients, right? Because you've been able to get out there and like do a lot of that interaction and stuff really on their behalf, right? Isn't that a big part of it?
Well, yeah, I was coming up with content for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still think if you have a content person, though, you still need to be out there representing the business on social media yourself.
Yeah.
I just don't think there's a way around it.
I think that this speaks to the authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to ignore that part because you have a nice tidy package marketing message, you have a product to sell, but we all gravitate towards brands that have a personality involved. Even the big ones, the ones that we feel like we have a transactional relationship with someone who's way out of our orbit.
Hmm. Is that the appeal of like celebrity spokespeople and stuff? It's like give a brand sort of a personality, like a face.
Yeah, I think it's something of a known factor, right?
Yeah.
Where that's why actors and actresses that have been a constant presence on the screen for dozens of movies end up being really excellent brand ambassadors because we feel like we know them.
Mm.
We've seen them in dozens of movies. And
Right.
so, of course, I'll look into Capital One because I know half their brand, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Jennifer Garner is so trustworthy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I prefer Jackson. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
We're Bald Brothers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let me run this idea past you guys since we got a minute. We've been kind of thinking about like the group in general and like the structure of it and how to do it really well because we kind of just launched it and like let's go for it. I've been thinking lately that it might be good for it to have sort of an end, right? Like, or at least this section, you know, like maybe this particular book study or something, and to say like, right now I'm kind of thinking, I don't know, like spring break or something into the quarter or whatever. But to say the purpose of this group was to like go through this book and get everybody to, you know, a certain place. It kind of feels like it could go on forever and like lose, you know, kind of lose momentum or meaning. And not that the group would have to end, but like we would then reboot. I want to keep going with it, but like reboot again another section with another focus or something and invite more people because I kind of like the idea. It seems like we get a group and here we are and we're kind of a tight knit group, you know, it's not just this big open-ended thing, which I like. But anyway, I don't know, I guess that I thought I'd just throw that out there, like I'm considering kind of putting a end date on it, saying let's wrap it up by this, you know, and hopefully people have gotten out of it what they, you know, what we get out of it, and then look at the next you know, iteration or evolution of it. I don't know if that
Yeah,
any
I
thoughts
think
or
that
whatever.
sounds like a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
time caps provide urgency. It's a valuable concept.
Yeah. 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 Nice. Okay. Well, kind of figure out what that's going to be then. And
So would there be a book?
What's that?
Would there be a different book that we're gonna with?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think or something. I think I like having something to sort of anchor it, you know. So we can like center around that provides a framework of an idea and that type of thing. So
I've got a question about that, Matt. Would it have a similar feeling to, like we're addressing a different book, or would it be sort of changing and that it would be like more of kind of like a paid group that is led by you and Anne? Like what are you thinking that way?
No, I mean, I think that for us, like the accelerator is our, next step for people who want to like get help in their business operationally and with tech and stuff like that. So I'm not necessarily thinking I need to do a paid mastermind. I guess it's an idea, but I would like to invite more people, like getting fresh blood in, and continue to use it as like, kind of a marketing, whatever, like, authority building function. So I would like to expand the group and invite people and do that. I think that's another reason why maybe to keep it shorter, to like have more opportunity to bring new people in. Because I think now at this point, it'd be kind of hard to bring new people into it, right? Like we're kind of established and we're most of the way through the material and all that kind of stuff. So no, but I'm not necessarily thinking about charging for it.
Okay.
Yeah. Just kind of reboot it, and try to open up the invitation for a period of time and get more people in and then start something, fresh set of ideas.
Nice.
Yeah. But not kicking anybody out, if you still find value, great, stick around, that'd be great.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, especially this far into the book, it would be super awkward to have someone just joining.
Yeah, exactly. Unless they, knew the book already or something, or read it really fast or whatever. But yeah, kind of a weird spot. Yeah, I may kind of try to keep it to like, I don't know, something like go through February or something then, and with this segment anyway. I don't know. We'll have to think about it a little bit. And open to suggestions on what would be next, I haven't thought about that very much either. So, but I'm not abandoning this. I mean, I think we're still got definitely some meat to work through on this one, because like the 10x concept is quite a like a shift, right? Like in actual, like how do you actually do less? And any luck with like any of these ideas? I mean, everybody's pretty familiar with the concepts in the book. Like, is there anything we're trying to implement, like the rhythms of days, for example, like having prep days, performance days, recovery days, or any other concept from the book that's like, stood out to you that you want to actually try to like make a reality?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it's putting into reality more maybe hours in the day or days in the week that are about resting, but also like thinking creatively about these things. Because in the busyness of my life, I don't do that very much. Like I really would like to give myself, 2 hours or an hour a day at a coffee shop where there are no distractions. Like that's kind of what is kind of on my heart.
Yeah. Like I think maybe here I'm going to put new habits or behaviors. just for like a brainstorming space here. So you're saying more dedicated creative time?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's good. Anybody journaling regularly? What's that like for you who are doing it, Jonathan?
It's kind of connected to my planner habits, and that has shifted significantly since owning company versus working within company, and integrating Asana much stronger. So my task manager is less like my planner is less of my task manager, and it's more of my reflections, compendium. And that's nice because it allows me to have like a place directly, opposing. So like in the spread, on the left side, you've got your tasks and goals for the day. On the right side is a blank sheet of paper. And it allows me to say, this is what's going on. Like, because you can go back and look at a calendar and see what happened by the calendar, or, by your meetings and accomplishments. But I was noticing that when I would sit down to do a quarter review, that if I wasn't in tune with what was happening, I'd look back at all the days and I'd be like, yeah, but I have no idea really what happened.
Mhm.
So I've been trying to write down more descriptions instead of just bullets on the right side of my planner. And that includes things like my reaction to a meeting and not just the outcome. Or in the middle of a meeting, I'll write down, instead of allowing Fathom to tell me what I thought, which is easy to do because it's pretty good at it. I'll write down in the middle of the meeting, like in a like a little cryptic thing. I had to go back and think about something, and then at the end of the day, I'll try to like, oh, what was that? And then write a few sentences about what that meant. So one of my clients is a pastor, and trying to help him professionalize his ministry tasks is a stretch for him, because his whole life has been geared around service and faithfulness, and the concept of improvement can run afoul of his service mindset. And so helping him has also helped me work through some of those things and putting new language down. And so like the other day I was writing, we were working on how to have tough conversations with his volunteers. And I was like, well, you got to think about the people who are doing these things they're on your team. That they may not be paid staff, but they are volunteers on your team. And then it kind of dawned on me, this is maybe what happened to maybe have this conversation about how to articulate the vision, is because I was helping him say, hey, you have to have just as much intentionality, if not more, with your volunteers as you do a paid staff. And so if you want to be able to help them understand the excellence with which they need to execute their volunteer responsibilities, you have to show them the connection between what they're doing and where that local congregation is going and what they're trying to accomplish. And obviously there's a fine line between the biblical ramifications of that. And so helping him be very articulate and say fewer words and go into that deeply, it's like make me think about how I'm thinking about it too. Like, I am not earning grace by the things that I'm doing. I'm being faithful, but I still have to do things well.
Huh. Oh yeah. So you're giving him a BHAG kind of.
Well, helping him with his clients, or with his volunteers. Like, he knows what he's doing.
No, I know, but the BHAG is like how to articulate that, right? Like,
right.
So they can understand it and like grab a hold of it, basically.
But so I've been making my journal kind of a reflections instead of just a straight in a separate, because I used to have a separate notebook that I would journal in every once in a while, and it was more as as a spirit led kind of thing. But I've been trying to do it a little more consistently, and it's helps because it helps me articulate things in concrete terms instead of just like general, like if you have to give stars to a conversation or to a day. Yeah, it was 3, but I'm not really sure why.
Right.
And it really helps with gratitude to do that, I think, because then you're like, oh, I have no reason to complain. Actually, it didn't go the way that I wanted it to go, and that's not a reason to complain. Things went well, actually.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I've thought about that a little bit because I go through this cycle of excitement and overwhelm in all of this, right? And trying to be more intentional about the prayer and the gratitude, which helps me stay in the excitement and the openness of this instead of like the fear, kind of like he talks about in the book of looking forward versus looking back. Because I struggle with that a lot, getting super excited, and then it's like, oh, but how am I going to get there?
Yeah. I think I've been in like the 80-20, process, like trying to allow myself to get actually clear and believe what is the 80 that I actually can let go of, need to let go of, ultimately want to let go of, but it's in the comfort zone, it pays something, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff. So it's like can be hard to let go, even if I do recognize what it is. But I think it's a little bit of courage, actually, to recognize it and then take the action of actually removing it one way or another, like not renewing that person or changing the structure or whatever. And I mean, a couple things like that are happening already, and it already feels like way better. like wow, I'm gonna actually not bleed all this energy into this stuff that just sort of snuck up like the frog in water deal, And like there I was, like spending all this time and mental energy and physical energy, like trying to do this crap that like I didn't even want to be doing in the first place, and was not moving me towards the bigger stuff, So it's like now as I'm really motivated to like get much more clear on what that is and isn't.
I mean, I think that right there that's powerful.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Chapter 6 talks about that.
Chapter 6.
Yeah, that's build a self-managing company.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's where we're at. Any other thoughts on that side? Habits, behaviors, concepts to adopt.
I'm a good note taker. I take notes frequently, but I never really journal as far as like reflect on my thoughts. I just take notes to kind of keep track of where I'm at.
Same.
Yeah. So you think you want to add that?
I'm not sure.
Maybe.
I mean, maybe it's a good idea to be a little bit more intentional about my notes to make it to where it could be more of a journal.
These are just ideas. You're not making the commitment. I'm just putting it down here.
No pressure.
Yeah. I mean, I would agree for me too. Some kind of journaling would be. I really actually need to get more proactive about my planner too, because like tasks go in there, but are they oriented around something that matters?
I've been trying to like stay consistent with the way that I organize my tasks and keeping things that are priority at the top of mind by like really violent filtering.
Yeah.
If I say it like because the 80/20, the violent filtering is like from the 80/20 concept. Like, wait, like if you want to be on point, you've got to say no to a lot of things, and a lot of things are good. And like there's maybe there's some lessons from being cash strapped that I've been able to like apply at the same time. And like, okay, this is as far as like rhythms go. There was a couple of days that I'm working some hourly wage jobs, so it's like, okay, that is cash, right? And it doesn't matter because you have to have that to pay bills. And then being very, very focused on the days that are not that way helps. But then you have to stay consistent in the same thing. So like for me, I'm trying to apply if you don't know familiar with him, Darren McKee is a LinkedIn guru, and I really like the way he teaches the consistency factor of social presence and social selling. And so I'm trying to incorporate his five comments, 3 connections, 1 post, 5-3-1, and doing that every day except for Sunday. And Sunday I sort of have like pre-scheduled stuff through Adobe to go out. And I'm not commenting unless I just, unless I'm there for funsies instead of for work. And that has helped. And it's been insane to watch how comments have way higher impressions than posts do regularly. And I'm like, oh, so they weren't kidding. But getting that 90 minutes to be able to do that on the days that I need to do it, that is the rhythm. Like you can't do it unless you have a scheduled 90 minutes to do it. Because you can have content creation concepts somewhere, but you have to build it out the right way. You have to engage with the right kind of people, because it's not just like 5 random comments. It's 5 comments on your ideal client posts. And so it takes like homework, and it's good, and it makes Sales Nav actually worth it versus being like, I don't know if this is worth it, because you have to go and find people versus being on the thread. And so getting away from scrolling in favor of using the research tools that are there takes like discipline in the routine of doing it. And kind of like, I'm still trying to figure out like the best like rhythm within the 90 minutes to do it. But that pattern has already like transformed the way that the feed flows. Because it's not just random jargon and junk coming into my feed too. So when I am on the feed, it's like LinkedIn is like, oh, the algorithm is like, hey, thanks for actually like feeding me some legitimate things to use to feed you content. And there's still random stuff, but it's
right.
It's a lot better. A lot better.
That's cool. What's the 5-3-1 again? 5 comments?
5 comments, 3 connections, and 1 post. And
what is this? What's this guy's name again?
Darren McKee.
Yeah, he was easy to find there. Yeah.
And I mean, full disclosure, he has a software company now that like walks you through how to do this, but I'm trying to do it without using his software, because he's very open about what he teaches. He just has a solution for you to log in on a dashboard and be reminded of what you're supposed to do and keep tabs of, but I already have kind of a system that I've built, and I want to like, I'm trying to keep it low expense and see if it works still. Because my suspicion is that the software kind of like outsources the thinking and the system part. But if you use his principles, and I already have a system for my leads and within LinkedIn Sales Nav built, then it shouldn't be as hard. But like selling like actually selling on LinkedIn theoretically should not be hard because there are actual professionals that you can actually access there versus on other platforms where you depending on what you're selling. For what I'm selling, I got to access leaders. I got to access CEOs.
Yeah.
And LinkedIn is like the best place for that. But
Right.
it takes that discipline for the right people to show up for my bio to be engineered for them to do something instead of just like find out who I am.
Jonathan, do you put a tag at the end of your comments when you're out there intentionally commenting on people's posts? Do you have like a tag at the end so that they know how to find out more about you and
I
what you
haven't on the
do?
comments. I always do on my posts.
Okay. I read your posts pretty frequently, but I haven't paid attention to when you're out there commenting. But that's one trick that I learned from another LinkedIn guru is, and I don't always follow it myself, but especially when you're intentionally commenting like that as part of your strategy. If after your comment you'll leave a little thing and tag yourself in it, say I'm Jonathan, I help whatever,
Yeah.
and when you say I'm Jonathan, you tag yourself. I don't know. It's just a trick some people use. It might be helpful.
That's a good idea. Because it's the same concept as doing it consistently on your posts. So that if they don't know who you are, they get the context for why you're saying what you're saying.
Exactly.
Like that.
Some good stuff, people.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you guys familiar with the concept? This is something I've been wanting to talk about, and I just remembered it. But we don't have a lot of time really. But the concept of like non-negotiables, like something that you do every day and you don't miss.
Yeah.
Anybody do anything like that?
Well, for me, Matt, it's from a personal state. It's some sort of exercise every day.
Okay. Yeah.
That's a non-negotiable. But it can be as small as 20 sit-ups, but it's just something.
Right. Yeah. To me, I don't know. That seems like it could be a good. I don't know if it's even in this book really, but I come across it other places, and it seems like it could be a good way of like implementing some of this stuff. Just like to start to build a little list.
You mean like a daily habit?
Yeah, daily habit type of stuff. Yeah. But I mean, the 5-3-1 would be an example of it. Could be an example of it. I'm going to do this.
My habits are better on a weekly basis. So like having a strong routine for the week is for some reason better for my brain than a daily because the days are so different.
Yeah. Sure.
Kind of church being like an anchor on Sunday, but then every other week is a little bit different on that. So we have to go drive a little bit for church, but then on every other week we host a community group in our house. So even like a Sunday and Sunday is not the same. Mm-hmm. So that has been better for me to gauge my week habits, and I feel more productive that way, knowing what Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday means, and then Thursday is sort of a flex day, and then Friday, Saturday are pretty consistent as well. But I think the trick with that one was building a flex day into the rhythm so that when things go awry because of things outside of your control, you have something to fall back on.
Space to make it up or whatever. That's cool. Yeah, it doesn't have to be daily. I just like the idea of having it kind of built.
The closest thing that I have to a daily is I have a stretching routine that I do every night before I go to sleep. Because I'm cheap and I don't want to buy a new mattress yet.
Excellent. All right. Well, it's good. Maybe I don't know, keep working on what the new habit or behavior concept to integrate, right? That pertains to your BHAG and 10x goals. Just thinking of a way to focus as we launch off here, you know. Any other last thoughts?
No, I don't have anything.
Yeah. Glad you could join us, Kendra.
Yeah, good to see you.
Thank you. Good
Been
to
praying
see
for you.
everybody. I've been wanting to join the last few weeks. It's just been hard.
Yeah, I can imagine. You're home now, though, sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, hang in there.
All right, see y'all.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, everybody. Good
Thank
stuff
you.
today.
Bye.